Sideways number 3. Only me that read this one. I'm sticking with it. I'm being give it a proper chance. Dan Didio and Justin Jordan writing, Kenneth Rocafort on the art. And this, if you remember, the end of the last issue, it ended with this new villain, Killspeed, showing up at the hospital, and he ended up going out to confront her. The majority of this issue is kind of him fighting her, but there's a lot of fun stuff. This one's more than anything else. I think this one actually kind of shows all the possibilities with his powers, because she's a danger to everyone in the hospital. So he makes a rift and pushes her through it, and then goes outside himself. Okay. And she's like, "Oh, that's weird. Like, what the hell did you just do to me?" And then she speeds off, and he's like, "Oh, I can't see her. You know what I'm going to do?" He starts making rifts for different streets in the city. Multiples, and he looks through them, almost like security cameras, so he can see, and he's looking for her, and he finds her in one. He's like, okay, right, I'm going there, and he jumps through. So it sort of sets up some of the different things that he can do with the powers. And then later on, she actually gets a bus going towards him, and he opens a rift, try to be big enough for the bus, and it doesn't quite work, and it only sort of, it's the middle of the bus it would do, and the bus just kind of snaps in half around the rift. Basically, this is how he learns that the edge of his rift is undestructible, or it's super hard. It's something that'll block anything. So he actually uses that at one point. He opens a little rift sort of horizontally on the ground at one point to trip her up. So it's kind of teaching how he can actually use his powers in different ways that make things work. And most of it makes sense for the most part. There's also a really brutal bit at the end where he sort of beat her. And the cop shop, and they want to arrest him as well. And he's like, "Oh, screw this! I'm going to rift out of here." And he rifts out, and she grabs onto him, and he's like, "That's sorry, I'm going." And he closes the rift, and he sort of lands in a park somewhere. And he's like, "Oh, thank God for that! I got away. Don't know what happened to her." And then he looks over to his side, and her arms cut off because he closed the rift while she was grabbed onto him, and her arms just lying there. And I'm like, "Damn, that's dark." So that gave me a proper chuckle. I was not expecting
Of course it did.
The amputated arm. The actual villain herself, she's just, it actually ties into Flash a little bit, because the reason why she has her powers is because she was in Central City during the Speed Force storm, and she's got this unique problem where she had cancer, and whenever she uses her speed, it actually spreads her cancer faster. So she's actually killing herself by using her powers.
Huh.
So
totally not familiar to Jason Aaron's store at all.
No, I get what you're saying with that, but I do think this actually makes a sense, a logical sense. The idea that, okay, so when they use their speed, all the metabolism, everything speeds up, all the body processes speed up. So of course, the growth of cells is going to speed up as well.
Yeah, that's what she says. With the metabolism, my cancer spreads faster. Yeah. Because she talks about how she used her speed to try and get money because she couldn't afford her medical bills, but doing so is actually killing her. So she's actually
it's making the medical bills cost more. It's a vicious cycle.
That's what makes her name Killspeed make more sense.
Yeah, she actually says she chose that name almost as a sort of dark joke,
ironic thing.
Yeah.
So this book sounds like what I wanted Blue Beetle to be. Weirdly.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of the other characters in this one, which is a shame because I quite like his best friend who helps him out and stuff. But they're kind of knocked out in the hospital while he goes off and fights the villain. But he gets back at the end, and it sets up some other stuff where his mother's been trying to get him this internship at this big project thing, and we see her on the phone as she's leaving the hospital. And this other person's like, "Oh yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I think he's just a kid for us." But we see her on the other end, and she's watching footage of him after he went through the rift with the arm getting cut off. So she's shady. This company that he's going to intern for are actually presumably evil and want to use him for something, possibly experiment on him or whatever. So they're setting up some sort of villains that are actually going to be a thing going forward. And that's pretty cool. What is interesting though is this book bizarrely had a 3-page thing at the end. It was like in classic comic books you'd get the origin of the Batman. It'd be like a 2-page origin just explaining who he is. There's that at the end. It's weird. Where it's him narrating. He's like, "Hey, I'm sideways," and he sort of speaks to the camera as it were. He's like, "Hey, you may not know who I am," and he sort of like, "Oh, this happens. I was in Gotham when the mountain was there, and all the dark Batmen were around, and all this and this, and then my friend Ernie, she made me my outfit, and my mum's always worried, and that's me. Thanks, guys." And he leaves. It's weird. I don't know why it's an issue.
I think it should be at the start of the issue, not the end. But
yeah.
Well, are they thinking people are picking it up in the 3rd issue? without the first ones? Because like that's only 3 issues old.
Yeah, it's strange. I wonder like if it's here, but it's actually been written so they can put this out as a preview in general.
Right.
Most likely.
Yeah, I have to imagine it is to just explain the concept. And it was fine. It was kind of weird though. I was like, okay, there was nothing wrong with these pages. They look great. It's still the same art. It's still the same.
Why are they here in this issue?
Yeah, it's the same, sound for the characters. The voices all sound right. And I'm just kind of like, but this is bizarre because I've not forgotten any of this because it's only issue 3.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what the point of that was, but no, I dug it. I'm still digging it. If anything, I'm starting to dig it slightly more.
Okay.
I'm not in love with it yet, but the trend that's going on is definitely aiming in the right direction, as opposed to feeling more fatigued with it each time. So I will check out issue 4. I will report back with my findings. But hey, like I say, cutting off some limbs through these riffs is one way to sell me the potential of this character.